Hi, good morning. I promised you that I will make a follow-up to my video yesterday where I explained how to look at the planetary positions for the next week and what to take in consideration. So what I said was that we have to look at the planets if there is some energy in the sky to push it up. So actually, before we look at the sky, let's look at the graph, which is much more simple. Using the S&P future 5 minutes graph, we can see that it made the top on April 9 at 52.74, and since April 9 it has been falling. It made triple top, each lower than the other. You see 52, 74, 73, 57, and when the Michigan announcement came in, then we got finally the major fall. But we didn't have to see at the Michigan because we already have the lower triple highs, so it was expected to be a fall. So if we go to the chart here for April 9 New York, and we take 8:30 because they announced the announcements were made at 8:30. We can see that at 9 April the moon moved into Taurus, where it is exalted. Okay, and this is the moon. We use the moon for intraday trade only, but looking at the long-term planetary positions that don't move, we have the Jupiter-Uranus cycle that all the world is talking about it in Taurus, and I also wrote about it in the blog. And we have Mars-Saturn conjunction in Pisces. Now Mars is the planet that brings the energy, and when it is in water, it turns into steam or into clouds, there is no energy from it. After Mars, we are looking at Mercury for an intraday move, and last to the moon. So what happened looking back here? On the 9th, the move moved into 0 Taurus when it is exalted. On the 10th, the moon was at 15 degrees Taurus. So let us go back to the chart. 9 April, one day later, the moon was 15 Taurus. It was conjunct Uranus Jupiter position, and we also had the CPI, which was negative, so the markets fell with a gap. Then it was consolidating until April 11. What happened on April 11? April 11, the moon was at the end of Taurus, and it went into Gemini. So I wrote that when the moon is in Gemini, it will be a very volatile day, but we still had the Mars-Saturn conjunction and the Jupiter-Uranus. They don't go away. So then we had the PPI, which pushed the markets up. Okay, we pushed the markets up, but still it didn't make to the former top. So here we got a final alert that this will be a time for a short. Okay, because it didn't go above the former tops. And then it was consolidating all the time during the night. And when the Michigan announcement arrived, what is the Michigan announcement? The Michigan announcement is the inflation expectations measures by the percentage that consumers expect the price of goods and services to change during the next 12 months. So this went up from 29 to 31. This means a higher than expected reading should taken as positive bullish for the US dollar. So then we go to the US dollar and the daily chart, and we can see here that during the CPI it went up, during the PPI it went a little bit down, okay, but really a little bit, and during the Michigan announcement it went again up. Of course, we can draw the daily chart. We can see that the dollar was consolidating since November 22, and it is still below the top, below the last top, so it is still consolidating. I just draw a calculation and made it 360 bars because 360 is the wheel, okay, the astrology wheel. So we will have to expect a change in trend on April 23, when I expect the dollar to break out. Anyway, if it doesn't break out, we use the middle of the channel, which is 105, as stop for long. And we expect to arrive to 107, and going above 107, it will go to 108, 109, and to 113, okay, at least in the coming months. So this means the dollar goes up, the indices go down. The bonds go up, the indices go down, okay? So then we go back to the S&P, and we see that in the 5 minutes chart it made lower highs, and I drew here the trend line. Let me change the color so you will see it a different color. So this is the trend line from April 11 to April 12, and the stop is 51.46. Using the planets, the stop is 51.75. This is a stable and long-term stop. So if it goes above it, then it will try to go again to 52.24. Okay, but I doubt that. Anyway, the stop is 51.71, and we are long above it and short below it. Okay, then we can check what announcements will we have the next week, and to know how to adjust our trades. What is here? Free stars, Corsipi. What date is this? Next week. Israel will have, not so important. What else? USA. Core report sales. This is important before the market opens. What day is this? This is Monday. So let us see the sky on Monday. The sky on Monday for New York. The moon will still be in Cancer. The market starts at 1 moment, 1 hour. The announcement is before the market opening. So the moon is at 22 Cancer, 22 the killer degree, and the ascendant is in Gemini, so it will be a very volatile day. Probably it will fall, but we still have the Mars. Mars is departing from Saturn, but depending what orb I take, they are still in conjunction, and Jupiter, Uranus are conjunct, which is very important. And I told you that their stop is at 51.75. So this is our stop for a long time. For a long time. Then we can use, of course, the Fibonacci days to see when we have a change in trend and so on, but that will be in a different video. So good luck, and of course I take in consideration much more tools like astrology and Fibonacci days and mathematics calculations, targets calculated from the low and the high, and etc., many other things, numerology also, and that I teach in my financial astrology course. So if you want to dig in and to understand really better, because I can tell you that the moon is in Cancer, and the next day on the 16th the moon will be in Leo. But what does it mean? What does it mean? You have to know the meaning of every sign, of every planet, or of every house, of every aspect. So this is not this is a study that needs a lot of homework, and to be serious about it, and be focused. Be focused, and also be how do you call it, flexible. We cannot bound ourselves only to one direction. If we see that something is changing, we change it. We are not bounded to one idea. There are many ideas in the sky. There are many things that happen in the sky. I showed you only the geocentric chart, but what about I go to the heliocentric chart? This is another story. Okay, what do we have in the helio? We have Earth have 150 to Neptune. This is a bad position. 135 to Saturn, bad position. We have good positions, Venus, Jupiter. What does this mean? So it's a lot of things to take in consideration, but the easiest thing to do is to look at the graphs. The graphs tells us everything, and when we have lower highs and lower lows, we are in a short. So good luck, and if anybody wants to study, be my guest. Please click like and share, and click like again, because I see that many people watch the video, but only 1 or 2 have the energy in their fingers to click like. Why is that?